Bout, you guys, and welcome to another video from the FUT Tradesman. So today it is a very important video. We're going to be looking at the upcoming market crash and how that's going to affect the prices of players, when to sell if you still have good players, and when to buy back if you're looking to build your super team. So let's get going. Okay, so for those that like to cut to the chase, the overall message is that everything is about to go down. It's about to go down very quickly and by quite a lot. And the idea being, whilst we look to the Black Friday supposed market crash in a previous video and a lot of the posts that I've been doing on Instagram, make sure you follow my Instagram account if you're not already doing so. But when it came to Black Friday, that was a misinterpretation by a lot of people thinking that that was a crash, but really Black Friday was all about buying. It was about upgrading. It was about moving into a better team when you could afford to, when you had the coins. Whereas this crash, which is just about to come up, it's ahead of Team of the Year. It's ahead of Christmas time. It's ahead of FUTmas. And these are things that are just sell triggers. So they're not buy triggers at any point. There's no buy trigger coming up between now and the release of Team of the Year. Everything is going to be declining with the exception of things that you'll use for SBCs or things that, you know, potentially for some other reason will suddenly become more valuable, like they link to a new premium or special card that gets released. So anything that's unexpected may see the price of a card increase. But as a whole, in general, everything is going to go down now from the moment now that I'm making this video, which is the Tuesday the 11th of December. And so we're going to take our starting point, our jumping off point, looking at last year, the equivalent date, which was the Tuesday before FUTmas was launched and announced on Friday the 15th of December, as it was last year. And the very first card we're going to look at is everyone's favorite premium player. This is Cristiano Ronaldo and his normal gold card. And this, again, all of this data is going to be about last year. So it's about looking at the patterns, about the behaviors, about what people do at what time and why. And with Ronaldo, he's often seen as the barometer of the market as a whole, and to a certain extent as him being kind of proof, like protected against sudden or short-term dips and crashes. He's pretty a safe bet. He's generally steady. So if his price actually goes down over a predicted period of time, then you know it is an actual trend, which is then likely to be repeated. So we start off by looking at Ronaldo as that main example. And you see here on the Tuesday, which is the equivalent of where we are now in terms of the month and the build up towards FUTmas, he was costing around 3.9 million. And then as you move into the Sunday, which is what, 5 days later. So this is the whole FUTmas was launched on the Friday, promos start happening, but then the weekend league, and the weekend league tends to be the trap that a lot of people are in at the time. So the price drops even more than it normally would. So you see from the Tuesday, it was 3.9. On the Sunday, 5 days later, it's down to 3.4 on Xbox, 3.5 on PS4. And that is Cristiano Ronaldo. Okay, so if you have him now, you may think you're safe from any kind of crash that may come, but that is not the case, because he is due to drop, and that is what, 400 or 500,000 coins in 5 days. This is serious. We're not messing about here. This is actually important to know about. And this is the moment any person who's experienced in FIFA that wants to retain their coins, they're selling their team, they're selling it now. They're going to either scrape through the weekend league this weekend with either a team of investments for FUTmas SBCs or a team of untradeable cards. Because they know that no matter what value your team is, if you've got a half-decent team at the minute, if you sell it now, and you buy it back in, as we'll look over the course of maybe 3 weeks up to around Christmas time, you'll be able to buy it back for a lot less. And that way then you've got more coins to spend. So the only way you can keep value in your coins is to take them out of those players. You can put them into investments by all means, but take them out of these types of players. Otherwise they're just going to depreciate in value. And it's not enough to sell one player and buy another player. You need to actually keep those coins out of players until prices kind of settle or level out a little bit then as well. So you got his price then at Christmas time, where it's continued to drop down. Obviously Christmas Day, that's a lot of new people coming and joining the game, which means a lot of new starter packs are being opened. So Christmas Day generally is going to lower the prices across the board then as well. And you've got the opportunity then to bring him back in whenever Team of the Year starts. So you look at his Team of the Year price now, and it's gone up Very much. So on the 15th of January last year, that's when everything was confirmed from Team of the Year, and it ran to, I think, the 20th of January then as well for them being in packs. So a player like Cristiano Ronaldo, whenever he comes out of packs, he can then start to move back up again. So everything is going to be in decline until the Team of the Year announcement, effectively. And that's, in a way, similar to how want-to-watch cards work and stuff like that, where everything about the anticipation makes more of an impact than the actual event happening itself. So prices are much lower in anticipation of Team of the Year. When Team of the Year actually comes out, again, kind of like Black Friday, it's then a buy trigger again. So a lot of packs will be opened as Team of the Year is released, but ultimately that means more coins are coming into the game because people will buy FIFA points like Black Friday to open packs, which means they'll sell the nonsense that's in there, temporarily dropping prices, but they've still got more coins than what they had before because they've got them out of FIFA points, which means then prices for premium players can start to go up from when Team of the Year is actually in packs. And also, of course, any player who is in the Team of the Year is then out of packs in terms of his base cards. Naturally, that one will increase then as well. So that's looking at Cristiano Ronaldo to start off with. Now we'll look at a few more examples. Okay, so now we're just going to fly through a lot of different types of examples then as well. So we're going to look at premium gold base cards, we're going to look at some mid-level icons, and we're going to look at some Team of the Week and special cards in as well. So we're just going to run through these in the order that I have them in, and I'll talk through the examples as we run through them as well. So the first one we're going to look at now is the icon, Ronaldo, R9, and his mid-level one, because his prime icon hadn't been on the market at this point. So you see here again, PlayStation 3.19, so nearly 3.2, Xbox 3.34, and that is the equivalent day as today, the Tuesday, back before FUTmas. And then whenever you get into that weekend of the weekend league, he's dropping down to just over 3 million. So you're losing quite a fair bit if you've got even someone who you would think would be market proof like R9. You would think nothing would impact him, but it does. This is the time when it does, and he just continues to decline then all the way into Team of the Year. And the consideration about this kind of card, obviously you've got another level to him whenever it comes to icons in the future, with his prime coming out after that, but also then any card that was kind of best option in the position before Team of the Year comes in, and then a Team of the Year card comes in to replace it as being that option. So you may see in the cards that you consider to be the absolute top level at the minute, because they're going to be then replaced by a Team of the Year card, they will actually drop more whenever the Team of the Year comes out. So we saw just now with Cristiano Ronaldo, his price recovers around Team of the Year time because coins come back into the market and they go towards him. But anything which is the absolute top level, the top level, when Team of the Year comes out, it's no longer going to be the top level. So they'll drop even more as Team of the Year is released, and then they'll kind of creep up a little bit after that then as well. And then looking at the Vieira, so on the Tuesday he's at kind of just over 2 million, and by the weekend he's gone below the 2 million point then too. So he's dropped by maybe about 50,000. So that's, you know, barely covered by EA tax if you sold him. In fact, the tax is more than that. So cards like that, maybe you would consider holding on to a little bit. But then as you get into Christmas and then you get into Team of the Year, he's really dropped down again then as well. So again, Team of the Year time for what was the top level, that's when things are really going to start to be impacted. So as we lead up to Team of the Year, for anything that's right at the top, you know that it's going to be in a bit more trouble than normal. And then you got Prime Del Piero. So he was one of the early kind of access Prime icons that you could get, the kind of that first step up that you wanted to take because he was out quite early on in the game of FIFA 18. So on the Tuesday he was 1.54 on PlayStation, 1.486 on Xbox, and then by the Sunday he was down to 1.42 and 1.47. So he stayed quite robust on Xbox, but then he dropped by 120k on the PS4. So another big drop. And then again at Christmas he's dropping. Well, he's actually again sticking around that level around the Christmas time. And then at Team of the Year time he's dropped that a little bit more then as well, because again there's another level of player then too. So the overall message about icons, you can expect them to be affected a little bit this weekend, but their main point of being affected is going to be between Christmas and New Year. So potentially you could put a little bit of your coins into the top level icons, but we don't know what's going to be happening with icons this year, with what EA are going to do with the next icon XBC and things like that then as well. So you've also got Ruud Gullit, again mid-level, but again he's affected between this point and this weekend, so he's dropping down about 100 grand, 100,000 coins on PlayStation and even more on Xbox then as well. And then by Christmas time he's kind of recovered a little bit, he's quite robust, but then you get into Team of the Year time and he's starting to drop down then as well, because better options are coming your way. Mark Overmars, 776 and 706, way down. So he's down again another 100 grand within a few days over this weekend. So he was one that people use quite a bit as being an accessible prime icon then as well. So he dropped down quite considerably. And then Christmas time, bit of a recovery, and then Team of the Year time dropping down and recovering a little bit. So Team of the Year time, you're pretty much safe to start buying again, except for those cards that have been usurped. They've been replaced by better cards at Team of the Year time. Okay, next up, we're just going to look at Gareth Bale, normal card. So just under 500k on PlayStation, just under 400k on Xbox. By the weekend, 430 on PlayStation, 330 on Xbox. So a big drop from that point of view then as well. And he's another one then at Team of the Year time. That's a nice buy trigger to start to come back into him. Next up, you got Aguero, so 385 on PlayStation, 350 on Xbox, way down to 316, 290. So he's dropping about 70,000 coins worth of value within 5 days. So another prime example. He's a player that people aspire to get, use quite a bit, but as soon as a big drop happens, he's really very affected. So that's about 20% of his value goes in 5 days. Next up, we'll look at Neymar, so 495 and 538, and then he drops down again around about 80,000 coins, 90,000 coins he drops within a few days then as well. So this is another player that gets really affected by the big crash that comes. But then he kind of recovers a little bit going into Christmas, and then his Team of the Year price will start to go up then as well, because he's in the Team of the Year then too. So looks like when Team of the Year is confirmed, it's a great time to buy the base card of those players, because there's more coins in the game. People are starting to move into them once they've opened their packs, but then also he's out of packs as a base card. Next up, we're going to look at Neuer. So he takes a big old drop over the weekend. So he was everyone's goalkeeper last year. This year, not so much. Well, no, actually, he was a bit dodgy last year as well, but he was still obviously popular enough to be worth 180 grand on PlayStation, 156 on Xbox, drops down to 152 and 130, so he's dropping about 20-30k within a few days then as well. And then going into Christmas, still low, and then Team of the Year time, very low, but starts to improve a little bit. Now looking at Team of the Week cards, so you got Dybala here, who is over 1 million coins on PlayStation, but by the Sunday he was down to 972, so he lost about 60-70k worth of value within a few days then as well. You got Pogba, who was 800, 777, down to 740, 708. So again, he drops about 70k within these 5 days as FUTmas is launched and starts to take people's attention away from these types of cards. And then you've got Aubameyang, whenever he was at Dortmund as a Team of the Week card, 704, 639, down to 585 and 659. So he's dropping quite a bit as well. So he's dropping about 10% of his value then too. Next up, you've got one to watch cards. So I thought I'd look at the dynamic cards as well to see how they were impacted. So you got Kyle Walker, who was around the 200k mark, and he drops down by about 10% in his cards then as well. So he gets a big drop over this time. So even the dynamic cards will still continue to drop then too. And also then Salah, who's everyone's favorite one to watch card last year, he drops from 424, 440 down to 360. So he's dropping about 60k there then as well. So about 8%, something like that. So something to avoid if at all you can. Anything obviously that drops more than tax is worth selling and even buying back within a few days. But obviously the general pattern is going to be that they'll continue to fall in price then as well. And you got the example of what happens when even maybe surprise or normal cards get into the Team of the Year. You got Dani Alves there, who made it in last year. So when he went out of packs, he more than doubled in price. So again, another one to pick up if some surprises get into the Team of the Year then as well. And you got Marcelo, who also made it in, but he followed a similar pattern where this time last year he was at 40-34 down to 32-28. So he's dropping about 6k or 8k of his value then as well from that point of view. Kante as well, 158k on Xbox, 192 on PlayStation at this stage of the year, and then he drops down by about 30k then on the Sunday then as well. Drops all the way down into Christmas and then comes back again when the Team of the Year is Impacts then too. You got Kevin De Bruyne, Team of the Week card. Again, he's dropping almost 50k between this day and the weekend, and then you've got his base card, which is dropping from 240 down to 206. So that's dropping about 20% of value off there then as well. And the pattern just continues to see with Modric, Harry Kane, Team of the Week. Every single card is affected by this dip that's about to happen. So make sure you are getting out of the premium cards. Obviously, always keep a balance. Make sure you can still enjoy the game because that's your overall aim. You can't do everything perfectly in terms of coins, but just be aware you could be losing between kind of 10% to 30% of the value of your team over the next week unless you get out of those cards and then either buy them back, wait till Christmas to buy them back, or buy them back at Team of the Year time, in which case they can actually increase in value. So the main thing to avoid is the biggest drop. Everything may continue to decline, that's fine, but it's declining much slower after this weekend. So the big drop is this weekend, or at least based upon what we've studied, that's when it's expected, but things will continue to decline, but you're better off avoiding the big dip, getting those cards back then as well, and then you've got at least less of a loss if you do hold those guys going into Christmas and New Year. Alright, so let me know in the comments if there's any specific players you want to check in terms of what their likely pattern is going to be during this crash. I just wanted to get in there early because this is the sell time as far as I'm concerned. Alright guys, speak soon.